Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, classic / non-classic. This episode number 2325 and Doubleshot number 2219. A Captain America trade and Iron Man trade. Now, the Captain America one, we're going back further than last time we viewed this one. That last one was, I think it was Arena of Death, I think the last one was. This one, we're going back to the 70s. We're doing Captain America Epic Collection. I think this is Volume 5. Secret Empire. And you're thinking, oh no, Secret Empire. Not that bullcrap crossover from 2017. No. This has nothing to do with it all. This is the name where that event came from. Secret Empire was basically a terrorist organization from the 70s. Yep, this book covers issues 160 to 179, roughly 20 issues of this book. Yep. The main writer for this book is Steve Eckhart, co-writing by Mike Frederick, Roy Thomas, and Tony Isabella. The artwork is on by Sal Bush and Al Luis. The front cover is John Romita Sr., and he does also the back cover too. This book covers time period of April 1983 to November 1974. So, excuse me, a little over a year worth of comic material. Now, of course, basically, the first issue is basically them taking a guy called Solar. Yep. There is some interesting stuff with these issues in particular. Yeah, so for Solar, this was his debut. His origin story in here, and he is here for, well, he does not make an appearance because after this he pops up in Avengers right after this. Yep, but this was his debut. Yep, we also have an organization known as Crime Wave. Yep, which they are pretty much dealt with in the previous issue, but they come back here. Then we have Return of Dr. Faustus in issue 260. We have this mysterious person under, well, hypnosis who turns out to be Sharon Carter, his prisoner. Yep. And that was more to do with hallucinations in 262. In 265, we had the debut of the Serpent Squad. Yes, the Serpent Squad, which later became the Serpent Society. Yep, Steve Eckhart created these guys. The group anyways. The members are Viper, Eel, and Cobra. Now, Viper is not the female version. Oh no, it's not him. Her. It's basically a brand new character who actually just appeared prior to this, like just a handful of issues prior to this one. And there's also Eel. This is I believe, the second version of Eel. Actually, no, this is the original. This is the original Eel. Before he died. Yep. This is before he died. He's here from issues 158, and he's here to about 181. He basically appears for this issue, comes back 180, 181. He said he got killed off in Ghost Rider. And he got replaced by his brother. Yep, his brother is the current Eel. I think it was. No, his brother is Viper, but I remember they had a new Eel right now. A guy named Edward Laval. He's the current Eel. And he first appeared in Power Manifest 92. Yep, so Super Saiyan is here for this issue, and then, of course, Eel next pops up in Captain America 180, which, of course, is the first appearance of that character. Viper gets killed off in issue 180. Well, supposedly, anyways. Yep. After fighting Super Cobra, old Thor villain. And then we have the first appearance of Nightshade. Yes. Yeah, and this begins also a saga where Captain America and Nick Fury fight the Yellow Claw. Yep. The Yellow Claw, who is currently deceased in comics. Yeah, he got killed off by Greg Pak in the miniseries first volume for Age of Atlas. Yep. So, these issues, he appears just for 160 and 167. After this, he pops up in Iron Man, which I've covered already. Isn't that something, though? The fact that I covered his next stuff already. Yeah, Yellow Claw is only here for a handful of issues. Nightshade, still around, despite apparently dying. Yeah, very sexy lady. And she's here for this issue. Though she does apparently die. She apparently is also basically trying to get on his good side. Yeah, and then she comes back with issue 189 and 190. Yep. She's gone for a very brief period of time. Yeah, and she's basically sort of the high of black exploitation of what's her attire. But you also Nick Fury apparently dying, but the whole Yellow Claw saga is fantastic. And the fact that he next appears in the pages of Iron Man. There's also a guy named Swan who gets killed. Jay Claw. She apparently just died, but she comes back later. Don't know where she's fine. Yep, and then of course we have the first appearance of Hamlet Zemo, who appears here as a character known as the Phoenix. Yes, though it's unrelated to the cosmic entity, he just called himself that. And then with issue number 69, we have him fighting a group known as the Secret Empire, which a character who first appeared during a story for Hulk. Yep. That was their debut. Yep. And we also the first appearance of the original Moonstone, who is Nefaris, who also was a Captain Nefarti costume. He's sadly no longer alive. He got killed off in Iron Man 1999, the Iron Man Annual that came out that very year. Yeah. He's the original Moonstone before passing off to another person. Yeah, the Secret Empire storyline. It would last for a very good period of time. It's a excellent story arc. Well, I was capping framed by them, of course, causing some controversy surrounding him. And this lasts from 269 to 275. Yeah, it's an excellent story arc, which ends with basically the original leader's death. Yeah, number 1, he gets killed off in this issue. And first appearance of number 2. And, well, that's the end of that organization for a bit of time. 176, basically, Cap steps down to be Captain America because of the whole Secret Empire stuff. This lasts for a handful of issues where him basically just... And he fights Lucifer. Yes, frickin' Lucifer from X-Men Comics. Who last appeared in issue Iron Man, issue 20. Yeah, this first appearance in 5 years. And what did he do after this very issue? Well, he appeared in the very next issue. And you're probably thinking, okay, where did he next appear after that of those 2 issues of Captain America? Oh, by the way, Lucifer is an alien. Yeah, after this is quite strange for him. I think that's a reprint. I think it's just another series. Next appeared flashback series. His next actual appearance would be in Avengers number 12 for Volume 3. Actually, a flashback. But, okay, so what about Declassified? Well, it's a file entry. So, you could say his next actual appearance was in the annual for Astonish the X-Men, which was started Matthew Rosenberg's run for the book. Yeah, and then he died. So... he's one character you could definitely say, yeah, I've covered everything for this guy. It's strange, though. He appears in issue 9, returns for 2021, appears at 1 issue of Iron Man, and then he pops up for 2 issues of Captain America, and then he dies his next appearance. It is so weird. And once he officially steps out as Captain America after fighting Golden Archer, is actually Hawkeye in disguise. Yep. Yeah, and there's also so many Road Runners. And they only appear in 1 issue. And of course, we deal with Boss Morgan these issues. Yes, Boss Morgan. He basically became a recurring character in this book. It's strange though. Like, basically after issue 179 for this book, he appeared for 1 more issue, and then he became a recurring character for a few issues in Peter Parker's Circle Spider-Man. He returned for Power Fist for a couple issues, and he returned to this book in 232. He appeared sporadically. It's like, and after like an issue of Punisher, he did not appear again to issue 3 of Volume 3 of Black Panther. Currently, the man is deceased. He got killed off in Ed Brubaker's run for Daredevil in 2006. Yes, after that brief part appearance, he had last appeared in 2000, and then he appears in this book which was 6 years later. Yeah, and his Punisher appearance, like, okay, I think Boss Morgan was just a picture. Okay, we have his apparent death, but then he returns to that issue. That was released in 1985, and he returns here like 15 years later. I always seemed like he was active at first, and he just stopped appearing. Yeah. And then basically with 180 of Captain America, he just changes his name. But I'll discuss that in another video. But this type of collection is really good. I give it roughly a, I'm gonna give it basically a 10 out of 10. Next that we have is Iron Man. Oh, Masterworks Iron Man. Volume 12, which collects 95 to 112 for Iron Man. Basically, this book, now 95 to 112 is done by, of course, Bill Manslow. He gets a co-writer with issues 95-97 is Jerry Conway. George DaCosta does most of these issues. Does 95 to 106. 107 and 110, 112. That's on the Keith Power. Comment Fatino does 108 to 109. This book covers the time period of February 1977 to March 1978. Excuse me. So 95, he fights Ultimo. Yep. Well, I do a bunch of Senate stuff here, but he has to do with Ultimo 95. Yeah, and of course, Ultimo is here for basically a handful of issues. The ultimate part of this is the last paperback in issue 70. So this was his first appearance in 2 years. And then after, I think he disappears. Okay, yeah. So after this issue, Ultimo is apparently destroyed. And of course, Kevin O'Brien, Michael Byrne becomes a guardsman in issue 96. Ultimo disappears for over 20 years. And then, of course, basically fights Iron Man in the very next issue. And then, of course, he poses Iron Man in 98 while taking on Sunfire. Yes, Sunfire and the Mandarin, which is a story arc that leads to issue 100. Get chapter Rocket. Yeah, of course, basically in issue 100 was this issue, which, of course, She-Hulk parody years later. Then, of course, after that multiple story wraps up, then he basically issue 101. Let me get to it here. We have debut of a brand new character who actually appeared. Oh, by the way, here's the cover for issue 100. Okay, let's see. There we go. That's better. Yep. So yeah, in issue 101, we actually have debut of a brand new villain, who's not a very known villain, but he did appear in the X-Men, the Iron Man animated series in the 1980s. Yeah, we also end up fighting the Frankenstein monster. Now, is this the actual one, or is he a robot? Well, it is the actual one. Yep. Yeah, this is the actual Frankenstein monster. Not a robot, it's the actual one. This issue also has debut of this guy. Well, here's the Frankenstein monster. Yep, that looks like this issue. But he's not the only one. We actually have debut of this villain here. The Dread Knight. Yep, this is his debut in comics. Yes, the Dread Knight. He is somewhat of a minor, basically he's a C-list Iron Man villain. But he still appears. Shockingly, he still appears. But here's the strange thing. The guy has very rarely ever appeared. Oh my gosh. He appeared in this issue, in the following issue of Iron Man. And then he would not make an appearance for over 15 freaking years. Like, 1977, very next issue. And then, not until 13 years later when he finally returned. His most recent appearance, Dread Knight, was in Iron Man Legacy number 3. Yeah. And then pretty much after that, he has to do with Jack of Hearts for a few issues. Yep. Yeah, Jack of Hearts. Midas. Yeah, he had made a return here. At the last appearing issue 19 for Iron Man. He's here from 103 to 107 as the main villain. And then he is returning again to Marvel Superheroes Volume 2 number 13. Yeah, and Jack of Hearts, if you're really curious though, like he fights him at first and he becomes sort of a regular character in this book. From issues 102 to 113. Yeah, he's here, like, apparently Bill Mansell really loved this character so much, he basically made a supporting character in Iron Man. Yeah, and then 113 was the last time he appeared in the book. For years, and he got a mini-series. But it's good, excellent stuff here. And then with Iron Man and his supporting and his support crew, and of course dealing with more Midas stuff for a few issues. And then the character Abe King gets killed off in issue 108. He had been sort of a, well, basically a supporting character in the book, but Iron Man had a great supporting cast at this point in time. Yeah, great supporting cast. Yeah, then Yellow Jacket pops up for a guest appearance in issue 108. Fights a guy called the Growing Man. Yeah, who is a Thor villain. Yep, a Thor villain. After appearing here for 2 issues, he next popped up in Avengers 268. And then we had the first appearance of a new Crimson Knight, number 109. Yes, Dimitri Birkin, who actually is still around. Not killed off, per se. He actually returned he's actually still around this very day. Yeah, and he's here from 109 to basically 112. And then he appeared in the Iron Man annual. The Marvel Team annual. We also first appearance of Vanguard. Yes. Basically, it's kind of like where, how should I put this? It's like basically that we just had to go to Russia for a few issues. And we also have Darkstar, a character who actually appeared in the pages of Champions. Yep. This was probably just after the book got canceled. So, yeah, fighting a bunch of Russians. And then going to space to Rigelians. Yes, Rigelians, the pages of Thor. Yeah, it deals with him for like a couple issues. I think it includes like 112. Where they also fight the Punisher Robot. You think Punisher Robot? What the heck? Yeah, it's basically something associated with Galactus. And Iron Man fight this thing for at least for a couple issues. At least for 110 and 112. By the way, his previous appearance was in issue 74 of Fantastic Four. Yeah. By the time he appeared in 110, it was his first appearance in 10 years. And then after issue 112, the Punisher robots would not appear again into an issue of Silver Surfer in 1980, another 10 years later. Yeah. Do not know the reason why for this. But yeah, not much I'll say about this trade here. It's awesome. Love it. I heard Nego would agree with this rating for these issues. A 10 out of 10 because this is just a really good... Because Iron Man is not one of those books I can have those though. It's really good. The older stuff. And we're going to check it out. Okay, so that's it. Particularly next up was Marshall, Magic, and Muscles. Okay, next video. Bye.